So we are in week 6, and we are totally finishing up fast. Um, the exam is going to be just one paper that you guys are going to write. It's going to be worth 25 points. Not that hard. So the challenge for you, if you've been going on this far, is to just keep doing one more week, okay? And my reward to you is no papers due for this next week. Just notes, lots of notes and videos to watch. Okay. Um, I am going to be paying attention to the notes though because I want to make sure you're watching those videos, especially the documentaries that I also have on Ethiopia and the steppe peoples. Okay. I want you to watch those, especially if I'm gonna not have you write a paper. Um, and you might notice that I am behind on grading. Yes, this is the most behind that I've been. But I should be able to catch up in the middle of this week quite well. Some of your exams, also, I have not put the scores in yet. I double check on things, that's why, to make sure. But in any case, I apologize about the lateness on the grading. And I will get to that. Feel free to call me if you have any questions or problems, of course, with all that. Um, And so, let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, um, well, how did you guys think about the whole discussion about Satan with the rabbi and the post that I had? If you watched that in my last announcement post, you might have been a little bit jarred, shocked. Keep in mind, first of all, that all clergy, whether it's a rabbi, a Buddhist priest, an Islamic scholar, Christian priest, a minister, um, are going to talk in the name of their religions, but you will find that there's many different sets of opinions within each religion about certain topics. So, I just kind of wanted to kind of crack open that interesting topic of the variance in which Judaism has regarding to Satan. And he's deliberately talking to a Christian audience. Now, the one thing that I also just want to clarify is that rabbi and the announcement I posted is kind of talking to Christians, and I think he's also trying to steer Jews away from converting to Christianity, I think, to be honest. And he quotes a lot and does a lot of discussions of the Old Testament, or the Hebrew Aramaic scriptures. Also, they call that Tanakh in modern Jewish lingo, okay, for lack of a better phrase right now. And so that might have continued to also to a point that it was missed by many of your discussions on Judaism. So I just kind of want to, some of you have already talked to me on the phone about this. I just want to clarify something. When I asked the transition from ancient Israel to Judaism, many of you wrote me good papers, but did not answer what I was trying to address. And there could be several reasons for that. So I just want to clarify this, okay? Ancient Israel was focused on the temple, the animal sacrifices, and a priestly class, right? This was the religion of the Hebrew Aramaic scriptures. This is ancient Israelite religion. By the time we get to Jesus, Judaism, our Jews were broken up into different kind of religious, different approaches to their religion. And so we had the Pharisees, which Jesus condemns, which also happen to be the modern precursors to all rabbinic Judaism, which something that it's going to create also a long-term tension between Christianity and Jews, in which the Judaism that survives as the dominant form of Judaism is going to be the very one that Jesus is really attacking quite heavily in the gospel accounts. Okay. And then there was the Sadducees, which were linked to the temple and the priesthood. And remember, when Jesus was alive, the temple still existed. And so the Pharisees, or basically what I would call rabbinic Judaism, didn't need or rely as much on the location of the temple as the priests to do the animal sacrifices and to have the order of the priesthood. The Levitical priesthood required the temple to be intact. Well, the Romans destroy it, right, in 70 CE. and that ends that ability for the religion to function in that way. And the Pharisees happen to be the ones that are able to thrive the best out of the different strands of Judaism that existed, or I'd say, Jewish or Israelite religion. And so it's the Talmudic form of Judaism, or what makes Judaism is the Talmud. That's my main point I want to say. The Talmud is considered the oral law passed down by Moses, and these are debates and discussions of the rabbis. And for Orthodox Jews, when they study Judaism, they're mainly studying the Talmud and not the actual Hebrew Aramaic scriptures themselves. They get to them, they consider them, I think, the holiest, or are holy, but Jewish law and education and the discussions that would take place among with very religious Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox Jews would really be stemming from the Talmud. Okay, so that's the shift from ancient Israelite to religion to Judaism. Judaism is not really the religion of the Bible, in the sense that, like Catholicism, where the Bible's important and central, but the church becomes integrated into that. And so within Catholicism, there's the church and the Bible is a centerpiece, but concepts like purgatory, limbo, those don't even exist. Those words aren't even in the Bible. Celibacy of priests, there's no discussion of that in the Bible. But there's these extra biblical things that take place within Catholicism that, for a religious Catholic, they're equally inspired. The church is set up by Christ and is inspired, and so is the Bible. And so if the church does something different than the Bible, it's not seen as a contradiction. But for Protestants, it is. Okay, if anybody follows that. So for Judaism, the Hebrew Aramaic scriptures are important, but God gave two Torahs, the written one and the oral. And the oral was a tradition of a set of debates passed down from Moses, this idea that the rabbis continue in this lineage. And for them, Torah is equally, and in a sense more so, what's written in the Talmud in a lot of cases. Okay, and so keep that in mind. So for example, I mentioned that the written Hebrew Aramaic scripture says, don't boil a baby goat in its mother's milk. In the Talmud, it explains that means don't mix cheese products with meat products. So kosher dietary law then is based not on what is literally written in the Bible, but is in the Talmud. The Talmud. Okay, so that's Judaism. That's the switch, and that's what I was looking for. And many of you wrote great essays where you wrote all these different things that happened within the history of Judaism, and just stopped right there at the kind of where I was wanting you to see where there was a significant break and what emerges into what I called, what we discuss about as being Judaism. Okay, so with the exception of that one group called the Karaites, which were like Jewish Protestants that reject rabbinic teachings and want to only read the Bible. Okay, and they're a minority from the past, and they are still exist now, but a very small minority within the Jewish world. So again, these are the differences. So I hope you got that clear. And I realize we're all getting a little bit burned out, and again, I got behind. Even this happened to me. So I'm trying to get these this week and the next week. I'm going to try to cut back where I can for us, so you guys can just focus on learning and not be stressed out. Okay, as much with work. So give me a call if you need anything, and have a good rest of your week, and we'll be in touch as necessary.